Okay, John, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm John Flue. I'm Assistant Superintendent of Finance for the Kern County Superintendent of Schools.
John, why are you here at the ETUSD School District Board Meeting?
Okay. The Kern County Superintendent of Schools has fiscal oversight responsibilities for all the districts in the Kern County. We have the responsibility of reviewing their budgets, reviewing their interim reports, and monitoring that as they go through to make sure that they can maintain their fiscal solvency. Tonight, in part of the El Cajon Unified School District's first interim budget, they made some assumptions as to what actions they'd be taking throughout the years as far as cuts and in order to maintain their solvency. And so last week, they agendized certificated reductions of force, and when we understood that they tabled that and there was some hesitation to go forward with that, we wanted to be here to make sure that they understood that they were under time constraints and that their budget multi-year projections, which is their forecast of what their revenues and expenses going forward for this year and 2 years forward, did identify some cuts, and under those assumptions are what we approved that budget.
So tonight the board decided to cut, I think, 5.5 teachers' position. What would have happened if the school board here, would not have made these pretty deep cuts?
Okay. In the multi-year projection that El Cajon provided us in the first interim, it really took them down to their minimum required state reserve, which is 4% for El Cajon. In those assumptions to make that multi-year projection and remain fiscally solvent, it required cuts. We were watching that to see if they were going to follow through with those actions that they provided as assumptions for us, and we were watching to make sure that those were carried out. We watch them, we talk to them very often. We keep in contact with them, discussing what their plans are and how they're going with their budgets and their expenses. And when we heard last week that they would not have made the cut, we don't know how they could have had enough savings in other areas in order to remain solvent. So it was of great concern to us. This March 15th deadline for the certificated staff is just the first step in a multi-step process. That doesn't mean that the teachers are absolutely gone for the 15-16 school year. There's additional steps that they need to take. They need to, after they deliver those notices, they can regroup and identify other areas of savings, and if they identify other areas of savings, that's fine. If they don't, then they need to look at how they can maintain their solvency.
But what would have happened if they would not have made the decision to cut these 5.5 teacher positions? How would the county or even the state would have come in?
We as a county, in our fiscal oversight responsibility, anytime we have an indication that they are a lack of going concern, in other words, that they are not going to maintain their fiscal solvency, there is a process and a few things that we can go through to provide them assistance, and that goes all the way up into taking stay and rescind action and having a fiscal advisor coming into the district, essentially approving all expenses that come through the district and
So
taking
not
action.
only an advisor, but somebody who
That somebody that
takes
would-
over the financial
that would-
affairs for the district.
That would have
That
stand
be the
rescind.
consequence.
That would be the ultimate consequence. We would work hard to try and not get to that point. You know, it's the more that the district takes responsibility for this, for their own actions and takes care of their own business, the better off everything is. We are not looking to come in, but we do have that responsibility, which
Right,
we cannot
for the
deny.
solvency. So basically, only that we understand that if it goes really hard and there would be no financial responsibility of the board, this financial advisor would even be capable and allowed, or even needed by law, to override decisions by the Board of Trustees.
Right,
correct?
right. It would still be held to statute, but yes, they would be able to, no expenditures would be, or contracts would be encumbered, or expenditures or hiring would be allowed without the approval of this advisor.
Okay, So that makes it very clear. Kern County is kind of a unique or interesting county. You have to supervise basically 47 school districts.
47 districts.
47 districts, and many of these districts are also, like the mountain communities here, in kind of rural areas where finances, population, depopulation, and so on play a major role. So the challenges financial challenges you encounter here and you work with at the El Tejon Unified School District, are they really unique, or do you find this kind of challenges in many other districts as well?
You can find these challenges in many other districts. Currently, at this time, we don't have any districts that are in such a declining enrollment or in such fiscal concern as El Tejon is right now. The enrollment and ADA in El Tejon has dropped dramatically over a long period of years and continues to.
And so you find this decrease in enrollment in no other districts. That makes it
not to this level, and that is truly the main issue here. And in order to maintain staffing and maintain the number of schools and maintain facilities that are appropriate for those number of students is the challenge. It's hard to reduce in a fashion that keeps up with that loss of ADA.
Okay, thank you very much, John. And John, you are the
Assistant Superintendent of Finance for the Kern County
So you know
Superintendent
what
Schools.
you're talking about, basically.
I hope so.
Perfect.
Thank you
You very much. Appreciate it.
John, in some of the